Hi everyone, welcome to the Philly Boots Rugby Roundtable. My name's Sean Phelan and we've got a very special show this week. We are going to be talking to the ladies from Rosslyn Park Slingbacks who have got a very brilliant project that they've got going on and they want more people to be involved in. So I'm going to introduce you to Sam, Liz and Moana, and if you want to just introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll introduce everyone to the project that you've got going on.
Brilliant.
We'll start with Sam. She's in the top corner, so we'll go around that way.
Sounds good. So thank you very much for having us on today.
Absolute pleasure.
So I guess my rugby playing career started just over 20 years ago now. So I was sort of one of a few girls who turned up with Lichfield ladies as it was, and basically formed a girls squad, an under 16 squad around the women's team. So it's been quite a while. I'd say I'm definitely towards the end of my rugby playing career, but obviously still really close to the game. I came down to London after university, like a lot of people do. I found Rosslyn Park. I messaged Liz on Gumtree, and the rest is pretty much history. And I'm now really proud to be representing them as club captain.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming on. Mahona, welcome to the show.
Hi, you're right. So I mean, my rugby playing career is not nearly as long as either of these guys. So I started back at university, and yeah, that was 2012, 13. I started, and then played at university for a bit. Did a little bit of my masters, and then played in Calcutta in India for a little while, which was hot, just to say the least. They start their season at an odd time where it's 45 degrees. And then I came back to London and I was out of the game for about 2.5 years. And then Facebook was very nice to recommend an Inner Warrior event near me at Rosslyn Park. So I've been with the Slingbacks for just over a year.
Oh, brilliant. Well, welcome to the show. Thanks for giving up your time. And Liz, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am one of the original Slingbacks. I've been playing for Rosslyn Park Slingbacks since we were created in 1997. We started off small, and we're still going 20 odd years later, which is great.
Brilliant.
Which is probably why I reached out to Sam, because I'm a bit of everybody come play for us, and I always have been. I have also played for UK Fire and Police, Met Police, UK Police. So I've played a few places, but Rosslyn Park is definitely my home.
Brilliant. So the topic of this roundtable this evening is a project that you've got going on, which was launched a few weeks ago. Sam, tell us a little bit more about Rugby for Heroes. Rugby for NHS. We can edit it out. It's fine.
The magic of television. So it actually was only 10 days ago. It probably feels like
wow, okay.
In terms of what we've managed to do in, I think it's only 9 days actually. But we started Rugby for NHS to basically get the UK rugby community behind our key workers in the NHS. And it's very much a now thing, because we recognise that it's probably the most challenging and overwhelming time that they've faced during the pandemic. And it's incredibly easy to get involved. It's just a case of finding a local hospital, communicating and working with them to arrange a care package of easy snacks and toiletries. And then the key important bit is tagging and taking photos of your donation pictures, tagging them with the hashtag Rugby for NHS on social media, and then seeing if the recipients are able to do the same to make sure we're continuing to spread the word on the campaign across the country.
How many clubs are signed up so far? I know yourselves have started it, but has there been any other clubs that have got involved so far?
Yeah, so I think the first one that we always call out, because we were just so shocked by it, is a club called Prenton up in the Wirral. And within a day, they'd raised around £250. By the time the sort of countdown closed on their donations page, they were at £630.
Wow, brilliant.
They across the club in a matter of days. So basically one of them could go out and arrange the donation. But we've had call outs from clubs across the country looking to find out how they can get involved, how we've approached it. So we've shared on social media, and we can talk a little bit more today about how clubs can best get involved. But this was very much set up with a view to the entire community being involved, because we see that there's such a strong link between rugby and the NHS. Like everyone in the country, we've obviously had friends and family supported by them, but we've also called them teammates quite often, and we've had them tend to us from time to time, as and when we may have seen injuries. So there's a really good tie-in there, and the traction has been absolutely fantastic. As I say, it feels like a month's work in only a week. But it's really because that connectivity and that community spirit that rugby is so famous for has really come to the fore. And every single day we're seeing new clubs getting involved. So it's just been fantastic. And for me, the NHS is obviously the primary objective here in terms of supporting. But I think it's just such a fantastic boost for the game at a time when we can't play. It's even challenging for top flight to play, and people are just feeling a bit cut off from the sport that they love.
Yeah, 100%, and it couldn't be being given to more generous people and more deserving people that they're putting their lives on the line at the moment for all of us. So if we can give back, that's brilliant. Liz, what's being donated? Is it money? Is it products?
No, so it's a mixture of products. Generally, we do say to people to just contact their local hospital and ask, because they may. I know in my local area there's been some other things where people are donating, so they may have lists of things that they could really use on top of things that people may just donate. I know that we kind of try and say to ensure we're sticking to guidelines, so where possible, things that are wrapped individually, so that they can actually be given out in a safe, easy environment for them when they get a break, so they don't got them worry about how they can make it COVID secure. Although, to be honest, I also say that, but also I know for a fact that biscuits has gone down really well. So I think it depends on the hospital. And lip balms, hand cream, as I'm sure you can imagine, with they wear masks, and their masks are nothing like the masks we wear. They're ridiculously much more protective. Sometimes they're double, treble layered. And I'm sure we've all seen some of the images on social media of some of their faces when they've taken those masks off after a long day. So lip balms, hand cream, that kind of stuff has also been really, really well received. But again, I think it is that partly get hold of if you've got a local hospital or one you're thinking of, then do just reach out to them. I've played rugby for Slingbacks for 20 odd years, but I now live in Kent. So I reached out to my local hospital, and they were absolutely brilliant. They were like, yes, please, that's great. So it doesn't necessarily have to be one nearest to your team, just one that you think that will benefit, which I think will be all of them. But and just ask them. They'll know what works for their staff.
Brilliant. And how have people been spreading the word, Moana?
It's Mahona, by the way.
Mahona, sorry.
That's all right. So we've basically just absolutely harassed people in the beginning on social media. It was my job to do that, and I was told, just put something out on social media, and I went a little bit crazy, and so we've been putting. Sorry?
There was a reason you were asked.
Yeah, I just take an idea and I just run with it, and that's not always good. But I think within the first 24 hours, everyone on the England squads got a message from me, just saying, "Hi there, you should get involved with this," and just telling them why we were doing it. And we did actually have a few big names pick it up along the way. So we had Owen Farrell picked it up, Marley Packer, Locke Davies. Vicky Fleetwood as well. So, there were some big names there. And then after that, England Rugby as well posted it on their newsletter. So it's really getting out there. And so those hundreds of messages that I did send out, it's all paying off now. It's fine.
Surprised you didn't get blocked from Twitter if you're sending that amount of messages. But it's all good. That's how people. That's how you have to get to people.
Yeah, no, I just dominate Instagram. Liz deals with Twitter, and Sam with Facebook. So, yeah.
A lot of it has also been just the network. So it's rugby. Someone always knows someone. So just I think reaching out via all of those connections that we've all accumulated over the years of playing the sport to say, actually, would your club get involved, or would this player give us a bit of a shout out? And everyone's been so welcoming, so encouraging, that it's really just been a great show of support from the community as a whole.
Going back onto the hospitals themselves, has there been any sort of pushback saying actually we can't take anything? Just so in case people are watching and listening to this, sort of get an idea, just in case hospitals aren't accepting donations.
So that was my big worry, because my family are in the NHS. I know they're really, really busy, and part of me was a bit like, oh, I don't want to bother them.
Sure.
And I pinged off a tweet that just said, look, we're doing this, would you be interested? And I had an email, and I've actually had about 8 emails from the lady all about what they're after and how it's going, and pictures, and they absolutely no pushback, quite the opposite. They're just astounded that the people have actually thought to think about their staff in a time when they don't have the minutes in the day to really think about themselves, almost, because they're so busy.
Yeah, that's really
good.
great. And I think kind of in terms of how all of this started, I'd just been basically, we're all stuck indoors at the moment, looking at our local Facebook groups, sort of social media groups, just to try and find out what was going on in the outside world, frankly. But seeing a lot of call outs for support from people who knew NHS workers, and then posts afterwards from them saying how grateful they were, how glad they were of the recognition. So this was all okay. Instead of people doing this individually, I'd started pulling together a package to take to Queen Elizabeth Blackheath. How can we get everybody doing this, so it's not just one person making one donation to one hospital? But I think the point that Liz made earlier about reaching out to the local hospitals is quite important. We've seen that some have Amazon wish lists set up. Others may have councils that are coordinating this, or mutual support groups. So it's just finding out what's happening in your local area. And Liz did it via Twitter. Other people are calling front desk. It's super easy.
Excellent. No, that's brilliant. So we I was going to ask how has it been received by the hospitals, but I think we've covered that one off. But so which hospitals so far have received packages from yourselves?
Sorry, go on, Mona. Go on.
No, I went to Hillingdon Hospital a couple of days ago, and that was very well received, actually. There is a TikTok on our social media channels that you can go watch, but they've actually asked for even more, because it's such a big hospital, that they want to get it out to more staff that they've got there. So because they're also running the mass vaccination programs for all healthcare workers in their trust across London.
Yeah, so I delivered to Maidstone, but they cover Maidstone and Tunbridge Wells, and they have spread it out across all their areas, including some of their testing sites where there were people who stood outside all day with drive-in testing sites and things like that. So it's I think the NHS Trust themselves have sort of run with handing it out to those people that most need it. So from a hospital point of view, it was one hospital, but I know that it's actually gone out into some of the community teams as well.
And I went to Queen Elizabeth Blackheath, which is local to me. But we've also seen donations to St George's in Tooting. I think they've received packages so far. There's one on its way to St Thomas's. So there are many in the pipeline, and those are just the ones that we know of in the London area through our team. So this is obviously going across all of the other clubs now as well.
If we'll touch on how people can get involved in a minute, but if you're a person that might be listening or watching this that isn't part of a rugby club, is there a way of getting involved with you guys to help, either with cash or with donations to help build those packages for you guys?
So I actually took some donations where I live. So I live in Berkshire now. And basically what happened was one of our old girls, she lives not too far from me. So she was like, can I just come and drop stuff off to you? So we did it in a socially distant way, put a box in my driveway. She came and dropped it off. I left it there for a bit, sanitized it all, put it into the care package, and that's how that went. But we also do have a donation page if people want to donate money towards care packages, and that will be spread out across different hospitals as well. So that's all on our social media platforms again. So if you go onto Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter onto our accounts, you can see the links there.
Yeah. Also, so I have a Facebook group with my development, so I put it on there, and lots of people offered stuff. So I did the same. I went round with a hamper, left it on their doorstep, backed away, waited. They put stuff in. I waited. Then we sanitized. You know, it's a real. Really nice. It's really. It means I've got to know some of my neighbours, albeit from quite a few meters away. But it's really easy to get people involved, because I think generally most people do actually want to do something and feel like, you know, what's quite nice is some people think, I can give you a packet of biscuits, that's all I've got, but that's what I've got, and that's really, really great. And other people, you know, more so, but you can do small or go large, and that actually really appeals to lots of different people, whatever their circumstances are at the time.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, if you can get involved, please. You know, even as Liz said, if it's a packet of biscuits, if that's all you can offer, that's people are needing this sort of stuff to get them through the days and the weeks. Where are we going now? So, how can people get involved? We mentioned the Just Giving pages, donation pages, and social media pages. How can people get in touch with you? And the hashtag, most importantly.
Yeah, absolutely. The hashtag is mission critical. It really is. Sort of, we're across social channels. We're sort of pretty responsive. But what we also have on our Instagram in particular is a highlights reel that shows all of the different posts that talk to how we've approached it. You can see some of the TikToks that we've done on how we've approached it. That includes the guidelines as well on how to make sure this is all done in a COVID safe way. But just drop us a DM if you're sort of stuck as to how you get started with it. But it is really a sort of 1, 2, 3 case of find your local hospital, understand what they need from you and how they want to receive it, and pull that together, and then get on the social media using hashtag Rugby for NHS.
Brilliant. Everyone should get involved. And if you, this is again to all three of you, if you were wanting to send a message to the rugby community to try and get involved in this, what is your message to them?
For me, it's teamwork, isn't it? You know, we don't play rugby because we want to exercise on our own. We play a team sport where it's all about the camaraderie and it's all about the working together. And as Sam touched on earlier, you know, we can't do that, especially at our level and even now at elite level where they've all had to stop for a bit. You know, there is that inability to actually be in touch with each other and do something together in person. And I heard a really good saying the other day, which I think really applies to this, which is if you can't be together in person, be together in purpose. So it's a really good way of doing something as a team that really brings you together.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And I think the other thing to say is I was speaking to a service manager from a vaccination hub yesterday, where she's looking for volunteers. And we've got a couple of girls going down tomorrow, actually, on Friday to volunteer for it. And she said, you know what, the reason we're looking for rugby players is because they are the most committed to building their communities and just helping out. So I think if that's coming from someone who isn't from a rugby community, I think that just speaks volumes.
Yeah, and lastly, I mean, what I'd say to the rugby community is first of all, thank you. You have embraced the cause. This was very much designed to be something that you could all get involved in, and you've already started, so that's brilliant, but there's more to do. But I guess just touching on Liz's point and just reflecting on where we're all at now in lockdown 3, in what just seems like the sort of longest thing that we've ever been through. It's really challenging for people at the moment and for a lot of different reasons, but well-being is something that people are really leaning into in a different way than they necessarily had done before. And it's one of those things that actually, when things for you personally are challenging, actually being able to look outward, look to others, look at what you can do to help can be such a huge boost for you personally. And I don't want to get to the space where I say there's no such thing as an altruistic act, but it's a really important time to actually be feeling good about yourself right now and feeling like you're able to contribute. And this is a really simple and easy way to do that.
Perfect. Couldn't sort of put it better myself. But that is it's absolutely brilliant what you guys are doing. And if this has got more people to get involved, then we've done our job here. I will get my rugby club to go and sort out Kingston Hospital and get some stuff down there. I will get them on that as soon as we sort of jump off here, because I think it's absolutely brilliant what you're doing. It's much needed, a proper morale boost. Mahona, just give us a recap of the social media accounts where we can find more information.
Sure. So on Instagram, you can find us at Rosslyn Park Slingbacks. On Twitter, it's RP_Slingbacks. And then on Facebook, if you search Rosslyn Park Slingbacks, we come straight up. So yeah, you can have the delights of talking to the three of us if you message us there.
Fantastic. And finally, we ask everyone this. It's a grassroots rugby podcast, so we want to ask the question for your hopes and fears for grassroots rugby in 2021. We'll start with Sam.
Wow, I think
it doesn't have to just. Sorry, Sam. It doesn't have to just be about grassroots rugby. It could be about the club. It could be about the project. We just want to know what you're hoping and what you're fearing about the next 12 months.
So I guess for the project, I'm hoping that we do get that full UK coverage that we've started building, because every extra care package is an extra key worker that's supported, which I think we can all agree is a good thing right now. Honestly, my very simple hope for the grassroots game in 2021 is just that we get back on the pitch, and it's not just touch or tag. Sorry to the touch and tag players, but that's not why I joined the game. So that's my hope. I think my fear is just that we're going to lose a lot of the traction that we've made, and belated traction, I will say, in the women's game, both at a grassroots level and an international level. We come on such a long way in the last 4 years, but my worry is that could start to regress slightly.
Touch wood, it won't happen. There's a World Cup at the end of the year, so hopefully people can get on board with that. And Liz?
Yeah, I sort of echo Sam's sentiments. I hope that that the hashtag really sort of gets the community out there and goes well, because I think it is something simple that people can get behind. It's not difficult to organise. But from a rugby point of view, I really hope we get back on the pitch. I say that laughingly because I didn't play last year either. I'm a 2 game a year kind of person now. I'm getting a bit old.
Me too.
But it would be really nice just to get out there and get the wind on your face and get your teammates around you. For me personally, I hope that we get to scrum properly at some point this year, because that's my favourite bit. And for the rugby as a whole, I hope we do get some form of World Cup, because I think it's really important to try and maintain that sort of forward female rugby momentum.
And Mahona, finally to you.
I think they've said all my fears and hopes for the year. But no, it's definitely like, in terms of rugby for NHS, like I just hope that we can get out as much as we can, like whether that's through cash donations or care packages going out. I think, this could be something really big, and I hope more and more people do embrace it. I don't know how far we could go with it, but hopefully all the British Isles will be doing it. Yeah, it'll be great. But in terms of for rugby itself, I just want to get on a pitch and tackle someone, even if it's just my teammates, that's fine. But I just want to tackle someone, and just hope I get to do that this year.
Well, let's hope so. Sam, Liz, and Mahona, thank you so much for joining us today. Look, rugby clubs up and down the land, please go and get involved. Go and find the hashtag. Go and speak to these ladies on social media and get all the information you need. It's a simple project. It's a simple donation that will hopefully go a long way to making the people that are looking after us. But while we were on the pitch, they've looked after us. If we've got hurt, now they're looking after us to keep us all alive. So good luck with everything. If there's anything Philly Boots can do, please just tell me, and we'll get everything posted and shared. And we'll check back in a few weeks' time, and we'll let everyone know how it's all going. But before we go, I've just got to pay some bills. So go to rugbystore.co.uk, use the promo code FYB Pod at the checkout for 10% off, including all the Six Nations stuff that's they've got on sale at the moment. So yeah, go and check that out. Sam, Mahona, and Liz, thank you very much. You've been watching the Philly Boots Rugby Roundtable. Good night. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you.